It was a long time since I competed in jiu-jitsu. I competed this past weekend and it felt great to be back on the mats. So I had knee surgery back in 2023 and just injury after injury after injury just kept me off the competition scene. Dislocated my finger, then I pulled my groin and that stopped me from training for about another month. Had another wrist injury and that just set back my training. And then the last time I was set to compete, I was all ready to go. Had a good warm-up, had good prep leading up to the tournament, was in the bullpen waiting for my opponents, and they weren't there. I was like, what is gonna happen? I was asking the officials what's gonna happen. They said, well, after match time, we'll wait another 15 minutes. If they're not here, then they're disqualified and you'll get a credit. So that's what happened the last time I competed. So I had this big high and this big letdown. Never really had that release of competing. So this time I was looking forward to it. Really wanted to get the monkey off my back because the last time I competed I was not happy with my performance. I faced the same opponent 3 times. Went 1-2 against him. All of the matches were decided by points, but just I wasn't happy with my mental state during that match. So just wanted to get a competition out of the way, have a good mental performance. And I thought I did that. So this was a local tournament, Jiu-Jitsu World League. The main thing that I want to do is enter the PANS, which is coming up later this year, November 1st through 3rd. That is going to be in Fort Worth, and that is the main goal. So I wanted to get some kind of competition before that, so it wasn't just a bad competition right before PANS. So that is what we did here. And again, there was nobody in my weight division. Normally there's not a lot of people in my weight and my age. So I had the choice. I could either move up where I had one opponent or move down in weight where I never competed that low in weight before, where they had 3 opponents there. So I decided to move down. And there was one good guy that I was looking forward to facing, and he dropped out. So those 2 other guys there, and it was a combination. The bracket was blue belts and purple belts. I'm a purple belt, so I'm kind of at the higher end of the bracket. And there was one person that just recently got his blue earlier this year, and then another person that hadn't really competed. But again, regardless of the opponents that I was competing again, it was more about my mental state. So I was really happy with what happened here. Let's go take a look at the matches. This is my first opponent. It was a purple belt, and this was a person that hadn't really competed for too long. Really been working on my stand-up. We've had a wrestler come in and really help us with our with the stand-up. That was kind of a weakness, so it's been improved. It's not where I want it, but yeah, my main goal here with this stand-up is just try to wear his neck down. So if you look at what I'm doing, I'm just trying to pull on his head, tug his head down, and just wear his neck out, get that tired so that he either makes a mistake or he does something stupid, or that I could just wear his head down and go for a guillotine and try to get a choke there. What I really wanted is a cow catcher, which is like a wrestling move that they use to pin, but if you use it in jiu-jitsu, you could really put the pressure on and really compress the chest. So that's what I was looking for. So initially, not really having like a set move that I'm looking for, just really trying to tire him out right now. So I'm just trying to wear his neck down. One thing that he kept doing really well is grabbing my wrist, so it kind of affected that strategy there, and it kind of threw me off a little bit. So I'm just trying to, just tug his neck down and tire him out, not doing anything silly, not doing anything unsafe. But yeah, he's doing a pretty good job. His neck's he's getting rid of the collar ties as I start to get them. So just going again. He comes in and I make a mistake here. This is probably the only big mistake that I make in a tournament. It's actually a pretty big mistake, but luckily I recover. So right there, as he's shooting in, I reach over to try to break his posture down, and he gets the takedown. Luckily, I just crunch his head and his shoulder down and immediately get the sweep. So as the ref was about to give him 2 points for the takedown, he didn't hold me long enough. In jiu-jitsu, you got to hold the person for 3 seconds. And I do get the sweep. I look over to the scoreboard there. If you look at me, I'm looking at the scoreboard and I see 2-0. I don't look at which one's which. So I think I'm down 2-0 because I went on my back. So I didn't think I got the points there. But we're in half guard here. I'm pretty happy with my half guard pass. I'm pretty confident that I could pass somebody's half guard. Do this kind of weird half guard pass where I turn my back to the opponent, try to control their hips. And I'm trying to free my legs. So I'm trying to like open up his legs to get my leg out. And I get my knee out and I switch to try to go to quarter guard, and he immediately starts to attack my leg here. So I need to get the cross face to get him off my leg so he can't go into deep half. Get that off and I get the pass here. So I control that for 3 seconds. That's 3 points for me. So I'm up in points right now, but I'm not sure how the score works. I'm actually thinking we're tied 2-2. but actually I feel his head come up here. So I feel for the choke here, and I'm going for a north-south choke, trying to get my rib onto his neck. So one part of his artery is compressed by my rib, the other is by my hand there, to the arm on this side. And I can't finish it at this point because he's actually defending well. If he's what he needs to do is defend with this hand on this side, his right arm, and he's defending. I can't get my head on the other side of his shoulder because he's defending with his arm here, and I'm trying to get that angle to get my head in, and he's doing a good job defending it. So I see an opening to go to mount, but he crosses his leg. He stops that, and the choke is still open. So I go back to the choke here. He has his hand in, but that doesn't matter. I could choke him through that. As soon as my head crosses his shoulder, which it does here, I could put enough pressure that I can finish, and there I get the finish. And that was the first match there. I was really happy with this match. Had an okay warm-up, but for some reason on this mat, they had a lot of matches scheduled. So even though I scheduled my warm-up on time, we probably didn't go till another half hour after we were going. So normally when I don't have a good warm-up, I gas out and I have this adrenaline dump. This time I did a good job controlling my emotions, so I was really happy with that. Then this opponent faced my next opponent. So as we were in a kind of a round robin situation, they went 0-0. The next opponent, which is the blue belt that just kind of got his blue belt, he actually won the ref's decision there. It wasn't a lot. They were trying to battle stand up. The blue belt pulled guard. The purple belt couldn't pass his guard, and they ended up ref's decision there. The blue belt looked like he was attacking the purple belt a little more, so I kind of agree with that decision. So now I'm facing a third opponent in the bracket, the blue belt that just beat that purple belt, and I have the same strategy here. Try to wear down his neck, just tug on his head, get his neck tired, and hopefully have him make a mistake, create a mistake, or just get his head so tired that I could just break his base down and start to go for that cow catcher or a guillotine or something like that to drop him down to the turtle. So just trying to stay safe here, not to extend too much. I do notice myself extending a little bit more than I thought I was. I thought I was playing a little safer, but I do extend a little too much out there. But yeah, just trying to go that same strategy, stay safe, watch for any shots that he might do, tug on the top of his crown and just break his base down. He's doing a pretty good job of staying active and not really letting me get a shot. And this guy was a lot more athletic. This guy felt a lot better than the first guy. I just think he doesn't have as much experience as that first guy, but he feels like he was a little better. All right, so I'm trying to break his base down. He doesn't like that. His neck is getting tired, and he starts to pull guard somewhere around here. And I immediately start to watch watch the attacks that he's doing. So if you look at his attacks, he grabs my ankle, starts to break my base down. I push his ankle down so he can't really get his attacks and attack his knee and try to get into half guard. He stops that. He's really active with his frames here. And I got a hook on this side, so I'm going to try to switch it around. There's no risk for a triangle because my elbow was outside of his knee. And he does a good job of spinning around, getting his knees, trying to get them in there. And now he's really trying to crumb up and trying to cross face. He builds up to an elbow, so he does a really good job, and he gets his leg in. Now we're back in half guard. So I immediately go back to my half guard pass sequence, and I start trying to break open his legs here to pass his guard, to get my leg free, switch my hips. And because if we go back there, because I have my hand on his knee as I pass guard there, my hand is on his knee, I immediately could get my leg right over and go to mount. I keep that heavy, climbing the tree, and I'm under his elbow on this left side, on his right arm actually. I'm under his elbow. I'm start peeling it up, and I want to get my head on the other side to do a head and arm choke. So my arm would cut off this artery, his own bicep going off, cutting off this artery. And as I start to go off to get the angle to put even more pressure, as I kind of just spin and wind that choke up, he taps before it gets pretty bad. There's a lot of pressure that's created if I get all the way to 90 degrees that angle, but he taps before that. So I'm really happy with his performance from a mental standpoint, even though my opponents weren't as experienced as some of my opponents that I've had in the past. I really was looking for that mental edge, and I thought I handled the mental part well, even without like one of the best warm-ups that I had. Just a lot of waiting around before that match. And there was a lot of time between that first match and that second match, so I got real cooled down, but I still felt that I handled my nerves and I didn't have that adrenaline dump that I've had in the past. So really happy with this. I think this is a good lead up to that Nogi pans that's coming up, and yeah, that's what I'm really training for. So that is it, guys. Next time I compete, I will post the videos, but really, yeah, I thought I've improving. There's still a lot that I have to work on. I did make that big error there that I got to correct and got to prove that stand up even more so that when the pants comes around, I got a shot there. But hopefully you guys enjoyed that video. That is where I'm at with my jiu-jitsu. I think I've progressed a lot since last time I competed, but yeah, battling through a lot of injuries. Just happy to get out there and to get out there again. So thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you guys next time. Hulk fist bump, ValleyFlyin out.